Hey, you, and welcome to the podcast. God has been giving me a word lately that until this morning I hadn't previously studied it in the word in the Bible. And that word is resistance, right? And so I've been hearing like so much about resistance in my heart lately that I've not been able to really articulate why or what to do with it. And so here it comes, right? I want to help you in your ability to step out of being who you've always been so that you can start showing up and being who you are meant to become. So that you can start being made stronger, so that you can start resisting the temptation. So when you are resisting something, that means that you are withstanding a force. You are counteracting something that sometimes you don't hate. Sometimes you have to kind of counteract something and defeat something that has previously been defeating you. And sometimes the things that defeat us are things that we invite into our lives, things that we don't hate, right? You probably don't hate the pizza that you keep eating despite knowing that you want to stop eating it because you want to lose weight. You don't hate the chips and salsa that you allow yourself to eat at the Mexican restaurant because they taste good, right? You don't hate these things. You actually get in that moment and your desire for that object, those chips and salsa, that margarita, that Friday night pizza with your family, whatever it is, that desire starts to overtake you and you just can't say no. I want to help you to start saying no, to start anticipating the difficulty and defeating it, withstanding the force of that difficulty. So you have to know that you have to prep for your success. Because when desire in that moment, when you're face to face with that Mexican basket of chips and salsa or that margarita, when you are face to face with that desire and that desire is fully activated, you're not going to want the advice of the Holy Spirit. You are going to want to follow the leading of your flesh. You're going to want to be fulfilled and satisfied in whatever it is you're thinking and believing, whatever it is that is the object of your heart's affection and desire in that moment. You have to anticipate where temptation is going to show up, where you're going to want to be flesh-led. And you have to know that in order for you to resist those hard things, you have to expect that resistance is so much easier if you make the decision ahead of time. Don't wait to just see what happens when you get to Taco Loco, right? You can't. You have to prepare for the temptation by deciding before you go how you will act when you face it. Right? You have to decide ahead of time. You have to have a plan. You have to have a prayer strategy. And you have to anticipate being very uncomfortable. Otherwise, you're just going to go to Taco Loco with the margarita and the chips and salsa on autopilot, being who you've always been. It's time to start changing your wrong desires. You have to prep ahead of time, decide ahead of time. You have to prep your right decisions so that you'll choose the right desires and start swapping the wrong desires with the right desires. Does that make sense? You've got to decide in the morning. You have to anticipate, I know where I'm going to be tempted. We're going to Taco Loco, for the birthday and the thing, and the margaritas are going to be there, and the chips and salsa or the pizza Friday night. Anticipate in the morning. Be on your knees, be prayerful. Pray with specificity for what it is that you need offensively, and then move. Go out. You have to see this as a battle. It's you battling against who you used to be in order to become who you're meant to become. You can't become that new version of yourself if you keep thinking you'll make a right choice. Decide in the morning. Pray for what you need and move. Start overcoming your old self. Stop allowing yourself to resist the life that you want to live. This is going to be hard. you have to start resisting it. You have to start resisting and counteracting and defeating who you used to be. You have to start coming against the force of your flesh. And then acknowledge that there's going to be resistance also to become who you want to be. So identify what you need to eat at that restaurant. Identify the swap you need to have for pizza night. And stop allowing yourself to resist the right choices so that you can step into the life that you want to live, even in weight loss. Hey you, really quickly, if you've been thinking about joining us in the Seeker's Method, now is your time. At the time that you're listening to this, very likely the Seeker's Method is about to open for enrollment. Are you on my email list? Do you know the dates when it opens? I encourage you, go to my website, sherrycapala.com/subscribe. Get on my email list. Follow me on the social media platforms. Do all of the things so you do not miss the next open enrollment. I don't know how much longer God is going to have me here leading this community, doing what He has me doing. But He has me here now doing this for you. So many women have shared with me the transformation that has taken place in their lives from the inside out because they lost their weight, spirit, soul, and body. God is no respecter of persons. If He can do it for them, through them, He can do it for you as well.